Every year, tens of millions of people move toward a single point on earth. Mecca, the spiritual center of Islam, drawing pilgrims from every continent in numbers no other city experiences. By 2030, Saudi Arabia plans to increase that flow to 30 million pilgrims annually. But there's a problem. Mecca's historic core was never designed for this scale. One road became the city's most critical bottleneck. King Abdulaziz Road, compressing humanity into a narrow corridor leading to Masjid al-Haram. At peak times, a single delay here affects hundreds of thousands of people. That pressure sparked one of the most ambitious urban redevelopment projects ever attempted in a sacred city, a $26 billion mega project called Masar Destination. This is how they're redesigning the road to Mecca. The bottleneck crisis. King Abdulaziz Road runs straight to the Grand Mosque, the most symbolically and functionally important axis in Mecca. It links the Haramain High-Speed Rail station to Masjid al-Haram, integrates with Mecca's future metro system, connects to the Third Ring Road. But the road was never built for 30 million pilgrims. During Hajj season, the corridor becomes a human river. Bodies pressed together. Heat overwhelming. Movement grinding to dangerous stops. People travel thousands of miles to reach Mecca, then spend hours trapped in gridlock just meters from their destination. Women, children, elderly pilgrims, all crushed into streets designed for a fraction of current numbers. The risk isn't just inconvenience, it's catastrophic. In 2015, a crowd surge during Hajj killed over 2,400 people. Stampedes, crushing, panic. Saudi authorities knew the infrastructure couldn't handle future growth. Something had to change. Not gradually, radically. Enter Masar Destination, known in Arabic as Wajhat Masar, meaning the path. Not just a development, a complete reimagining of how pilgrims reach Islam's holiest site. The Masar vision. Masar Destination stretches 3.65 kilometers long, up to 320 meters wide in places. A mixed-use urban spine leading directly to Masjid al-Haram. At its closest point, the development sits just 500 meters from the Grand Mosque. This proximity is deliberate. Every meter saved matters when millions are moving on foot, often in extreme heat, under strict time pressures tied to religious rituals. The project was announced in June 2020, designed by global firms OneWorks and RMJM. Developed by Al-Qura for development and construction, a company established by royal decree, backed by Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund. The objective: transform access, movement and experience in the heart of Mecca for the next century. The numbers are staggering. The core land area covers nearly 700,000 square meters. Total site exceeds 1.2 million square meters. The development comprises 205 individual plots. Total gross floor area of 5.7 million square meters. Built-up space exceeds 1.2 million square meters. Designed to host between 123,000 and 158,000 people at peak capacity. Road infrastructure alone spans 9.5 kilometers. Open public spaces account for more than 158,000 square meters. At the heart runs a continuous pedestrian boulevard, 3.65 kilometers long, guiding pilgrims directly from high-speed rail platforms to the Kaaba itself. Few urban spaces on Earth are designed to move humanity at this density, frequency, and precision. Housing millions. Accommodation is central to Masar's purpose. The project includes approximately 38,000 hotel rooms, spread across 58 hotels and 82 hotel apartment buildings, 18,000 serviced apartments, more than 13,000 residential units across 59 buildings. These aren't abstract plans. Investment agreements signed between 2024 and 2025 bring thousands of units into active development. Partnerships with regional and international investors. Real money. Real construction. The aim is vertical density without chaos, allowing pilgrims to stay closer to Masjid al-Haram, reducing pressure on older districts never designed to host modern mass tourism. Currently, pilgrims often stay kilometers away, taking buses through congested streets, wasting hours in transit. Masar changes that equation. Stay within walking distance. Move on foot through climate-controlled corridors. Reach the Grand Mosque in minutes, not hours. For elderly pilgrims, this is transformative. For families with children, it's essential. The master plan. Masar divides into 3 primary zones, each transitioning from transport gateway to sacred destination. Masar Gate receives arrivals from rail and roads. Masar Central forms the commercial and residential heart. Masar al-Haram acts as the final threshold before the Grand Mosque. The pedestrian boulevard itself divides into 6 commercial subzones, each equipped with shaded walkways, misting systems, prayer areas, fountains, public art, retail, restaurants, essential services woven directly into the walking experience. Vehicles are pushed underground into underpasses, allowing pedestrians to move uninterrupted above. This is critical. Traditional street-level traffic created deadly conflicts. Cars mixing with pedestrians, buses blocking crossings, emergency vehicles unable to navigate crowds. Masar eliminates that chaos. Vehicles flow below. Pilgrims move above in wide controlled streams. The entire layout is designed for a 100-year lifespan, future-proofed against demand that will only grow. Crowd management technology. Crowd management is where Masar becomes more than architecture. The pedestrian-first design removes vehicles from surface level entirely along the core route. The system integrates directly with Mecca Metro stations. 24 bus stops, parking for 36,000 vehicles. The project introduces the Middle East's first electric bus rapid transit system inside Mecca. Combined with direct links to the Haramain High-Speed Rail and Third Ring Road, Masar becomes a fully synchronized transport ecosystem, designed to absorb peak pilgrimage flows without collapse. But what cannot be seen is just as important. Masar operates on a smart city backbone powered by IoT-enabled infrastructure. Electricity, water, sewage, telecommunications continuously monitored to handle extreme density in real time. These systems support digital pilgrim guidance, crowd flow optimization, emergency response coordination. Sensors track crowd density. Algorithms predict bottlenecks before they form. Alerts redirect foot traffic through alternative routes. In a city where a single moment of congestion can escalate into danger, this digital layer becomes essential. Masar is designed not just to move people efficiently, but to protect them. Sustainability in a sacred city. Despite its density, Masar is one of the most sustainability-focused projects ever attempted in Mecca. It holds LEED Gold certification under the Communities category from the U.S. Green Building Council. The evaluation covers transport efficiency, land use, solar integration, water management, materials, quality of life. Shaded streets and misting systems reduce heat stress, critical in a city where temperatures regularly exceed 45 C. Rainwater harvesting supports non-potable usage. Underground water flow is preserved to avoid long-term environmental damage. In 2023, Masar achieved an 85% GRESB score, placing it among world-class sustainable urban developments, even within the unique constraints of a sacred city. This isn't greenwashing, it's necessity. Millions of pilgrims consuming water, generating waste, using energy. Without sustainable infrastructure, the city would collapse under its own demand. The $26 billion cost. The cost reflects the complexity. Masar's estimated price tag sits between $26 and $27 billion. Funding is anchored by the Public Investment Fund, alongside institutional shareholders like GOSI and regional investment groups. In 2022, a $2 billion deal was signed for 7 hotel towers alone. In 2025, Al-Qura is set to list part of its capital on the Saudi Stock Exchange, raising fresh funds to maintain momentum. Alongside this, private land sales and strategic partnerships inject liquidity while keeping public control intact. Masar's timeline stretches across decades. Restoration of King Abdulaziz Road began as early as 2015. Major hotel investments followed in 2022. By 2023, infrastructure works were over 90% complete, reaching near total completion in 2024. Package A developments are scheduled for completion in 2025. Masar Mall opening in 2026. By 2030, hotels, residences, transport systems and public spaces are expected to operate at full capacity, aligned with Saudi Arabia's pilgrim targets under Vision 2030. The controversy. But the project has not been free of controversy. More than 3,600 properties across 6 districts were expropriated to make way for the corridor. Compensation exceeded 9 billion Saudi riyals in book value, a small fraction still under resolution in 2024. Entire neighborhoods were demolished and rebuilt between 2015 and 2023. Families displaced. Historic buildings destroyed. Communities scattered. The debate remains ongoing. Critics question the commercialization of sacred space. Luxury hotels towering over the Grand Mosque. Shopping malls steps from the Kaaba. Is this modernization or desecration? Supporters argue that safety, access, and dignity for millions must come first. Old Mecca couldn't handle current crowds. Future crowds would be catastrophic without intervention. Better to rebuild now than watch thousands die in preventable disasters. To address cultural concerns, continuity was embedded into the architecture. Shading canopies draw inspiration from traditional muqarnas forms. Paving patterns echo Islamic wave geometry. Religious spaces are integrated throughout, including major mosques designed to serve both residents and pilgrims. Smart systems guide movement while preserving the spiritual procession routes that define the pilgrimage experience. The goal is not to replace tradition, but to support it under modern conditions. The future. By 2030, Masar Destination is expected to function as the primary gateway to Mecca, capable of handling 30 million pilgrims annually. It will act as an urban spine, connecting transport, accommodation, worship, and public space into a single continuous experience. Masar is expected to generate around 16,000 jobs across construction, operations, hospitality, and transport. Beyond employment, it acts as a multiplier for religious tourism, one of Saudi Arabia's most stable non-oil economic pillars. The project aligns directly with Vision 2030, enabling higher pilgrim capacity, diversifying income streams, encouraging private sector participation. If successful, it will set a global benchmark for how sacred cities can modernize without losing identity. Masar Destination asks a question few cities dare to confront. Can a mega project modernize one of the most sacred places on Earth without stripping it of meaning? Can faith, function, and the future coexist? The answer will emerge over the next decade, as millions walk the new road to Mecca. If it succeeds, Masar will stand as proof that tradition and progress do not have to be opposites. If you found this story of engineering, faith, and ambition fascinating, hit that like button. Subscribe for more deep dives into the world's most ambitious mega projects. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.